Hello and welcome to our talking walkthrough, if you like, exam question. We're going to look at a 6-mark exam question today, and these are the ones where you can start to really impact upon your exam grade. And doing one of these well and doing one of these not so well could be the difference between a grade. And we're going to look at an evaluate question today. So let's have a look what it says. It tells us there are 2 types of carrier bag in common use: disposable bags and bags for life. It then goes on to say that bags for life can be returned to the supermarket when no longer usable, and that the supermarket replaces the bag for life free of charge and arranges for the bag to be recycled. The table below shows data from a life cycle assessment for the 2 types of carrier bag, and the life cycle assessment that you've done is just looking at the environmental impact of any piece of whatever it is, a bag in this case, from making it to using it to disposing of it. And here is the data. It talks about the type of polymer they're made of. So we've got an HT, which stands for high density and low density polymers there. It tells us they're both ultimately made from crude oil. The mass of waste generated, now we want that to be a small number, so obviously the bag for life is probably a bit better there. The mass of carbon dioxide emitted, and again we want this to be a small number, so on the face of it the disposable bag looks better there. The number of times they can be used, well, we want them to be used more often, and that's going to keep down production. And some disposable methods there, and they're the same. The question then says evaluate each type of carrier bag. So I'm going to underline that key word there, evaluate, because that is important. And what evaluate means is we need to talk about the pros and the cons, the advantages and disadvantages of both these types of bags and come up with a conclusion. So I'm just going to write the word conclusion here. So when you finish writing your exam, you know you must have a conclusion. It then says use data from the table above and your own knowledge. So again, I'm underlining use data and underline that we also need to use our own knowledge. So there's 2 different ways you can really answer this. You can talk about disposable bags all the way down and then talk about bags for life all the way down, or you can talk about each of the bits of information on the left here. Doesn't make any difference. I'm going to do it the second way, but the key to it is doing it in a logical manner and then starting to tick off the things you were talking about. Now, I'm not going to write this whole thing down just because of the time it will take. It'll make this video about 3 minutes longer than it needs to be. So I'm going to start off with a type of polymer. And I'm going to you would literally write down that disposable bags are made from a high density polymer and bags for life are made from a low density polymer. Once you write, and do these as bullet points, once you've bullet pointed that, just put a little tick in those 2 boxes there. We've done it. But then we're going to talk about the raw materials, and they are both made from crude oil. So you'd literally write that down. They are both made from crude oil. And then when we've done it, we're going to tick it off. This is where some of our own information can start to come in, because we all know that crude oil is running out. It is a finite resource. So you just add that onto the end of it. They're both made from crude oil, which is a finite resource, or which is running out. And therefore we want to reduce the use of it. So those are the things that start to elevate you to these higher marks there. Talk about the mass of waste material. It says down here use data. So you want to use that data, not just parrot that data. So I'm going to work out the difference between those 2 things. So 0.42 minus 0.17 gives us an answer of 0.25. So I'm going to say that disposable bags generate 0.25 grams more waste than a bag for life, or a bag for life generates 0.25 grams less waste than a disposable. Doesn't matter which one you do it, but we've used that data. We've not just kind of parroted it down. So we can take that one off. Again, the same thing with the mass of carbon dioxide. So 6.9 grams for the bag for life, minus 1.6 grams for the disposable bag, gives us a difference of 5.3 grams. So again, a bag for life generates 5.3 grams more carbon dioxide than the disposable bag. Take those off. Mean number of times used. So on average, a disposable bag is used once and a bag for life is used 6 times. We can take that off. However, again, going into your own information, however, bags for life can be used more times than this. And then you can add this bit here. And if it is damaged, you can get a new one for free and it will be recycled. Then we get down to disposal methods. Well, both of these are the same, so you could literally just write that both of these disposal methods are the same. So we've gone through each of these things now. We've spoken about them all in turn, but have we done what we've actually said? Have we evaluated it? Well, not yet. No, we haven't. Because why? We haven't done a conclusion. So the conclusion, your judgment, doesn't matter what conclusion you make, whether you say disposable bags or bags for life are better, but you have to have a reason for it. So, for example, you might say that bags for life are therefore better because they can be used multiple times and generate less mass of waste than disposable bags. You could also, if you wish, to say that disposable bags are better because they produce less carbon dioxide than a bag for life. It doesn't matter which one of those things you pick, but you make sure you have got a judgment that is linked and supported by that evidence. So hopefully you got a better idea of how these things work, and we'll see you in the next one.